What's going on, everybody out there in the soon to be known as Veve verse? This is Ilex Wilder, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Sue Storm drop, which is going to be dropping tomorrow morning. They're doing a blind box drop, which I'm realizing as somebody who's kind of newish to the kind of Veve whole thing. As you guys have seen from my other video, I've only been in the Veve space about a month's time, and I'm trying to learn, trying to navigate on my road to blue chipped. Now, the reason that I really wanted to talk about this is I don't really have any grand insights. I don't have any tips or tricks on how you can get the drop faster, because we all know at this point the drops are basically luck. I don't have any great assessment of the importance of the first iteration of Sue Storm. I don't mean the first iteration of the Veve app, because this is how she looked when she first came to the Marvel Universe way back in the day. They have that nice classic retro costume. So there is some importance to her as a character in that regard, but I want to talk about why this character is important to me. Now, I am not primarily a comic book fan, and that's not to say I'm not a big comic book fan, because I am. I love the Marvel Universe, I love the cinematic universe, I love 616, I love the Ultimate Universe, which is actually what I kind of cut my teeth on way back in the day. And but when I first started kind of collecting comic books, my comic book of choice was the Fantastic Four. Now, for a lot of reasons, as it stood, I was a huge anime fan back in middle school, back in high school, and one of my best friends was a huge comic book fan. So we used to kind of swap stories and be like, "Oh, you need to read this, you need to read that." So I got him into Rama One Half, and then he eventually found his way to Inuyasha, and then he got me into certain comics, and it was really a blessing because he was so into it. He let me. He would kind of guide me through what to read and when. So when he let me borrow a mini collection that he kind of put together of X-Men Days of Future Past, with the spoiler covers flipped around backwards, so I didn't get surprised, and he was like, read them in this order, and that's what I did. So I was able to kind of really read a lot and learn a lot from him, so I'm very grateful for that. But once I got into it, and I'm 14, 15 years old at the time, then I started going and seeking what comic books was I interested in. And obviously I started with, a couple of X-Men grabs because I had watched the animated series when I was a kid. I got some Captain Americas, which I really, really loved. I used to have a ton of Captain Americas, but the ones I really came to on my own was Fantastic Four. I loved the concept of just this family going out, exploring, and then trying to make their way together. Love Fantastic Four. Fell in love with a lot of the characters for their peculiarities, for their differences. Reed Richards is great. Ben Grimm is very angsty and great. Johnny Storm is a lot of fun. And Sue Storm was the glue that kind of held everybody together. So I have my own opinions too about what happened in the Ultimate Universe, because I love the Ultimate Fantastic Four 2. That was actually the second comic book that I purchased on the Veve app, because I have some close association to the Ultimate Universe. That's actually my first Spider-Man. My first true Spider-Man that was mine was Ultimate Spider-Man. I had Ultimate Spider-Man #1 through however many. I had so many trade paperbacks of Ultimate Spider-Man. That's the Spider-Man I know the best. And then after that, I read the 616 Spider-Man, kind of going my way back. But I read 616 Fantastic Four first. So when they started over and they were like, Fantastic Four #1, we're starting here. I don't know when that was. Maybe it was late 90s, early 2000s, something like that. I bought them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm very, very hyped for this drop and for this character, just because of the certain what it means to me. Now, obviously, this isn't the first iteration of Sue Storm on the app. The first iteration of Sue Storm was the Mighty Marvel Mighties version, which has been on the app for a little bit for a while. Now, there's a whole Mighty Marvel set where you can get all the Fantastic Four family plus Doctor Doom. Johnny Storm is lit up, so he's the Human Torch and he's all ablaze and everything like that. So they're great and they're fun. And it's cool preparation for when things kind of start to happen. So I have a Reed Richards, and that's really all I have from that set. I have a couple other Marvel Mighties, but out of the Fantastic Four, that's the only one that I bought just because it's nice to see classic Reed Richards. I hate what they did to my boy in the Ultimate Universe, turning him into the Maker, which it frustrates me to no end. That now people are only seeing him as a villain, that now people are only seeing Cyclops as a villain in a lot of regards. But I'm very, 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 very excited for this drop for a lot of reasons. So let's take a look a little bit at what they have here on the Veve Medium page. So if you go to medium.com, Veve-collectibles, or you can just actually go to Veve.com and there's a link talking more about this. It kind of tells about when the drop is happening, Saturday the 15th of January, 8 a.m. Pacific time, so my time that's 10 a.m. And it gives it kind of the breakdown of who she is and what the animations. I'm not going to play the video. I mean, that's redundant. You can look at that yourself. But look at these really great textures and really great poses. The common looks amazing. The uncommon just looks fantastic, and I love classic Sue Storm. Whenever I see something like this, it makes me want to go and get one of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance video games just so I can play with the characters some, and I might do that. I just haven't done it in a long time. I want to play as my favorite characters. I want to explore. I want to have a little bit of fun, so I might treat myself after this evening. But I know the stuff that a lot of collectors care about. It's the list price is 50 gems. Some people don't have their gems in the Veve app before the drop happens. Not that it matters. You can buy the gems as soon as you reserve your thing, but I always think it's better to have them there just in case. So I have my gems kind of ready to go. 16,000 editions, so not super low, but not super high. But these are going to be very, very coveted. I mean, everybody is going to want one of these. And that's what kind of terrifies me about this drop. Now, I'm on the road to blue chip. That's really what my goal is, my immediate goal. I'm going to keep doing the series until I get my first blue chip. When I get my real first blue chip pieces, whether that be NFT, I want an NFT on the Ethereum chain. I want a blue chip NFT on the Solana chain, and I want a blue chip collectible in Veve. I'm still kind of teetering. I have a couple of rares, and I have a couple of interesting NFTs, but nothing that quite has that panache that some of the big ones. And this is why this terrifies me, because whenever you have a very coveted piece like this, and the drop system is so random, it feels like a dice roll on top of a dice roll, and it's that kind of chaos magic working against you. Like, I don't know, I have great internet, you know, I have fiber, AT&T fiber. I should be getting like 250 to 500 megabytes per second. It's zooming, it's kicking quickly. I basically sit on top of my modem when the drops happen, and I have yet to hit a single drop. Now, I know I'm new. It's only been about a month for me, so either maybe I just have to wait my time. Maybe I think I'm doing it perfectly, though last time I did it perfectly. I mean, timed right when it changed over, right as it changed over, and allocated to other users. And this is even a smaller sample size. So what do you do as a collector when you really care about a piece? When you really care about a character? And that's kind of the thing that kind of terrifies me, because as somebody who's kind of climbing the ranks, I would like to be able to get this when it drops. I don't even care what version I get. I'm hoping, my fingers crossed, that I'll be able to get one in the morning, that the stars will align and I'll be able to get one, but I don't expect it. And I know the way that the marketplace kind of is going, it's going to turn around, that this is going to be 100 something bucks for a common, maybe 400 bucks for a common once it gets into the secondary marketplace. So I know that this is kind of a controversial like discussion point, but I mean, that's real. As you guys know, like I used to sit in my bed back when I was 16 years old, nowhere to go, barely could drive. Drove down to the comic book store with $7 in my pocket and was sitting there contemplating, do I want this old issue of Fantastic Four or this one? And I got to go on these great adventures with Reed Richards and the family as they got to discover new worlds and think about things on a more intergalactic cosmic level, and he got to interact with all these cool people and have these great adventures. And Sue Storm's powers were so intense. Like when I read Civil War when it first came out, and I did read it as it first came out back when all of the uh, cross book stories were really getting popularized before it became the standard. And she ended up having to fight against Reed, and they basically like were at odds. Like it broke me a little bit because they're the perfect family. So how could this happen? And so like I'm as you can see, I'm kind of getting nostalgic just about it because I mean those stories really just make me smile. I mean the concept of Valeria, the concept of Doom when he had to do that magic to spell to get the new armor, and if you know, you know. Um, so this is like the first one that feels Fantastic 4-y to me, and that's why I want it. So, am I willing to pay like $200-300 to get in the secondary market? Not yet. I don't have that discretionary income. So, when you're not a whale yet, when you're not a shark, when you're not a whale shark, I'm not even really a bottlenose dolphin. I feel like I'm still like I'm Nemo's dad, a clownfish, still trying to find my way back to my own childhood through this app. But I know I'm going to get there eventually. So I'm wishing everybody luck on the drop tomorrow. Tell me if you're excited for this. What does this mean for you? Are you a fan of Fantastic Four? Are you not? What character are you waiting for the most? What are you excited about the most? Put it down here in the comments. I'll comment and reply to everybody. And let's just keep this train to blue chip going. Hope you guys have a great day. Good luck. Get ready. Get your Twitch and your trigger fingers ready so that you can make sure to hit that button fast because we are coming through. And let's just kind of keep this train running on the road to blue chip. So I'm Ilex Wilder. Thanks for listening to Wild with Wilder. Until next time, more random insights, more fun stuff, and maybe we'll do something about Solana Network next because I've been doing some research and there's a couple of cool projects which might be fun, but I'm skeptical because I've made plenty of mistakes trying to find a good one that's not too overpriced that I can actually get into. So stay tuned.